What's up, people? This is Who That Edition with your favorite host, Trill Quet. We got one of the biggest weeks of college football, biggest games. Everybody that's a fan of college football, just football in general, you're going to be glued to your seats and watching games. Big week. Let's get into it. First, we got number 2 versus number 3. Oregon versus Ohio State. Big game. And then we're going to go through the picks and who I like. Oregon versus Ohio State. I like Ohio State to put out this win. Ohio State has one of the best rosters in the entire college football. It's a $20 million roster. Nick Saban said your roster is $20 million. It doesn't matter if you don't pay the right guys or have the right players. I think they got all the right players, right? I think Ohio State is better than Oregon at the weapons are better. Quentin Junkins, Trey Henderson. Their wide receivers with the sensational freshman Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Bua, Tate. Their core and their running backs are just, I think, a little better than Oregon's, right? The secondary is crazy. Denzel Burke, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles. The secondary is going to be able to be physical and rough up those smaller receivers over there at Oregon that they have, right? They coach. I know Ryan Day doesn't get a lot of praise and hype, but really think about who he lost to really only. Jim Harbaugh. Same Jim Harbaugh that beat Nick Saban. Jim Harbaugh is the same one that's now in the NFL leading the Chargers to hopefully second spot in that division behind the Chiefs. Then their red zone is better. They're 94% touchdown ratio in the red zone, while Oregon continues to turn the ball over in the red zone. Turn the ball over in the red zone loses you games, and also kicking field goals loses you games. So Ohio State is just better at the key spots. I think they're going to dominate this game. Their run game is going to be efficient. You've seen what Genty did to them, so I think Ohio State with the running backs with Jenkins and Henderson would be too much for this Oregon defense. I got Ohio State covering the spread and putting out this W, and showing that they're a top team and should be the national championship favorites. Let's get to the Red River Shootout. Texas versus Oklahoma. Texas is favored by 14.5. Smash that. The biggest thing in this game is going to be, can Oklahoma offense keep up with Texas offense? No, they cannot. I think Texas offense is too much. Quinn Ewers is coming back, so the veteran presence is there. No more like rookie mistakes that Archer was making. Texas defense has been stout this year too. They've had a top defense. They've allowed 3 touchdowns in 5 games. They got 9 turnovers in 5 games, and 13 points is the most points they allowed so far in these 5 games. You seen what they did against Michigan? They take away your best attribute, which Michigan was running the ball. They took that away and forced them to throw it. So I look forward to them making, the true freshman Oklahoma has starting throw the ball. The same Oklahoma defense allowed Auburn quarterback throw for 388 yards. So just imagine what Quinn Ewers is going to do with those guys. So Texas pulling that W. Yeah, back to it. We got. Sorry, that was Max. For those that know Maxie, my dog, if you come right here, he gonna bark at you. So, but Texas, I got them pulling this out. Definitely covering that 14.5 spread. I think them and Ohio State are the best 2 teams in college football, and this week they will show that. Texas defense has been stout. They're getting their senior quarterback back. Kevin Stefanski over there. I told you guys how I feel about him. He's building a dynasty over there. Alabama-like team. And just Red River Shootout is going to be a lot of orange shootout coming from Texas. So smash that line. Texas to win. Colorado and Kansas State. Ooh. Dang, this is a tough one, right? Colorado is home, night game. Those are the games that Colorado kind of plays their best game, or it just be a great game in general, right? Think about the Baylor game, think about last year North Dakota State, think about last year's Stanford game. This is when Colorado kind of plays these crazy games. I think it's going to come down to how will Colorado come out, how focused will they be. This is the most hype and the most praise they've been getting. They're 4-1, and they've been looking good, right? You see the development in the O-line. You see the development in Shador, their receiver core is better. Their defense been able to stop the run. They're just like a good team. But can they stop the run? Kansas State run game, I think, is more efficient, is more, trickery and more harder to stop than UCF, because UCF just kind of run this straight, try to run it straight there and throat, while Kansas State has more, outside reads and zone reads and read options and things like that. So it'd be a little tougher to stop. And how will they keep Avery Johnson in the pocket? That would be big. Kansas State is a good team, man. Kansas State is a good team. They have to force them to turn the ball over. They have to get turnovers. Their defense has been getting turnovers, and that's been winning games. They had 4 or 5, I think, last 2 weeks ago against UCF. If they do that, they definitely pull this win out. But I cannot be biased on the show. I love my Buffaloes. I hope they win. If Colorado wins, it will be because they forced a few turnovers and Shador had a crazy game. I think the run game has to be a little effective. Run for about 70, 75 yards, 70, 80 yards, they win. And they force turnovers, they win. But I think Kansas State gets my Buffaloes in a tight one, 27-23. But Colorado looks good, and they're still, I think, in contendance of Big 12 championship. But if Prime pulls this one out, man, oh man, Big 12 championship is in Colorado's vision, and if that's in Colorado's vision, college football playoff is in Colorado's hand, and they can smell it and grab it. So this is a big one. They got to come out so fiery, so energized up to get this win. But like I said, this Kansas State team is good, man. This Kansas State team is good. They have nice D-line that gets out the quarterback. Dylan Edwards first game back at Colorado since he left. Emotions still going to be there. I'm sure he's going to want to have a big game. Prime's going to say stop that boy Edwards, but he gets the ball in numerous ways, so he can affect the game in numerous ways. So I don't know. I'm sorry, but I got my Buffaloes losing in close one. But I'm rooting for them, and if we win, we're going to be turned. Penn State, USC. I got Penn State, man. USC looks like they're not ready for the Big 12. For the Big 10. They look too small. They get pushed around. They're bullied around. You seen that. It was evident in the Michigan game. Minnesota did the same thing, running the ball on them and forcing them to turn the ball over. Miller Moss has been a turnover machine. And Penn State is a physical team. They've been in the Big 10. And they've been right under the, Michigan and Ohio States and beat everybody else. So I think Penn State kind of beats up on USC. Their running back Singletary is coming back from injury, so he'll be fresh and ready to run the ball. It's a big travel from Penn State. They're playing at USC, so that's a big, travel. But I don't think it will have, enough effect on the game, right? So can USC stop the run? No. The line of scrimmage game, D-line versus O-line, Penn State has the advantage, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing. But if they're able to stop the run, they will have a chance, right? Because I think Penn State lacks the big target on the outside, the big guy their go-to guy on the third down. I don't really see that guy, but I think Penn State pulls this out, man. Their ability to get after the quarterback, the ability to push the ball down the field. This year, Drew, the quarterback has been a lot better at pushing the ball down the field. They have a new offensive coordinator, so credit him for that. Penn State I think pulls this one out by a good margin. I'd say about 10, 13 points. Penn State pulls this one out. Lastly, on a great week of college football, we have LSU and Ole Miss. This is a good game. This is, I think, college football elimination game and SEC elimination game. Whoever loses this game will have 2 losses, and I think that's the mark to be out of the SEC championship type of game, just because that conference is so stacked. You can still maybe get in the college football playoff if you're that third place in that division for sure, and maybe even fourth if you have some big wins. But with teams like Texas A&M, who's undefeated in the SEC, this is a big matchup. But I'm round with Ole Miss. I think Trey Harris and Jackson Dart, that connection is just too much for LSU. Great Newsom has been great for LSU, but Brian Kelly, he always seems to fold in these big games. So I'm round with Ole Miss to pull this one out. I think Jackson Dart and Trey Harris has been the best quarterback, the wide receiver duo. Was short, big in this game, and you've seen the dominance of their defense in that South Carolina game. South Carolina is not a slouch, so their record. They're not ranked. People may think they're a slouch, but South Carolina is a great defensive-minded team, and we've seen how they had LSU boxed against the wall, and it was never a game versus Ole Miss. So I think Ole Miss dominates this game. I say Ole Miss by 13. Say Ole Miss by 13. They definitely cover the spread at 3.5, and I think smash that spread. Around with Ole Miss, I think Jackson Dart is the top quarterback, coming in this college football and going into next year's draft. So we round with Ole Miss to pull this W out. But big college week. Be sure to have those butts glued to those seats. Big week. I can't wait to watch these games. I'm tuned in. You know what it is. We watch games, not box scores. I'm Trill. I keep it two things. True, real. Peace.